So right when we finished up that last stream that kind of messed up at the end, the news or the rumor broke that Indiana Jones is now also coming to PlayStation 5. All these rumors, right? Nothing's been confirmed by Xbox. I have seen a number of big outlets reporting on the rumors. Perhaps, where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's lots of fucking smoke. So this wouldn't surprise me, but let's just run with it and assume it's real because it seems real. If it's not, okay, cool. Obviously, I do feel for the people if you've only bought one piece of hardware and you did it because you wanted to play the Microsoft games and you felt the sacrifice of not being able to play things like Spider-Man or Super Mario Wonder, and now you're like, holy cow, you're kidding me, right? I do get that. The fanboy stuff I don't care about, whatever. And what I'll say is this. If it's true, there's kind of a couple possibilities. I love Game Pass, right? I want it to work very badly. I think it's good for the medium. I think it's great for the customer. Will it work? Who knows? I hope so. I don't think you can sit here and say it doesn't work because we already know, because Microsoft has yet to release a cadence of quality software to keep people from churning out after they subscribe, and they may never do that. They may not be capable of that. But regardless, let's assume for the moment Game Pass is going to continue, and this is them saying, hey, we got to recoup our money, who gives a shit about Game Pass? We just got to get our money back, and let's put these things on everything and become a third-party publisher because what we were trying wasn't working. It's possible. But there's also another possibility that I actually think is, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. This is not me like holding out hope. I don't care. I have an Xbox. I have a PS5. I think consoles are going away anyway. It's irrelevant. But at a level of somebody who does support Game Pass and thinks it's the knees bees, there is something potentially very smart about this if they play it right and if they can get their marketing shit together, which they haven't so far. If you look at the games coming out, I just want you to imagine this for a second. If you look at and I know there are people who are like, Jaffe, I like to own my games. Great. You're in the minority. Nobody cares. I mean, I care that you care, but it's not driving decisions. It just isn't anymore. The younger generation doesn't, my kids don't think about owning Fortnite. Younger kids certainly don't think about owning Roblox. They just play shit, right? But if you look at the list of stuff that's coming, to Game Pass day one, you've got MLB. I'm just going to get the big ones. There's a lot of them, but and I'll be generous because some people, like, I don't think MLB The Show moves the needle for hardcore gamers, but it's a big deal for a meaningful enough group that it puts it in the top 15 every single year of sales. So MLB The Show, I in the same kind of category, I would put Flight Sim, Microsoft Flight Sim. We'll call these kind of B Game Pass day one titles. I would even put Hellblade. I don't have a lot of faith that Hellblade's going to be anything more than niche. Then you've got, let's assume, put Stalker 2 in the B level. It could be the next big thing, but who knows? I'm going to put Avowed in the big A level because I think it's going to work, even though it looks janky. I think it's going to be a great RPG. I'm going to put Indiana Jones in the big one because the pedigree of the teams. Of machine games. I'm going to put Hollow Knight. I'll be super obnoxiously conservative. I'll put Hollow Knight over here in the B column. It's a big deal, but it's a niche kind of title. And then obviously you've got the Call of Duty stuff, right? So Call of Duty, whatever the new one is coming out, which is obviously always going to be B. So let's just say there are like 4 big games from first party day one and like 5 B tier games that could be A depending on you, that will be dropping day one on Game Pass. And that's not to mention all the third party stuff in those games, things like Pal World that'll probably still be on there and all the new stuff they decide to put on there, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this is if Microsoft has, you could probably go up to a parent who's buying something for Christmas and say, what do you think of Game Pass? Like, I have no idea what you're talking about, right? They've done a terrible job. But here's what I'll tell you. If you have an ad, I mean, I just want you to think about the value of this for a minute. If you're a consumer that's normal, not like you're abnormal, but if you're not hardcore and you don't care about owning games, I'm just talking pure business here because I think there's a lot more of those than there are of the people who want to own their games and collect them and have the boxes and all that. That's a niche thing. Okay, so I don't even have any games anymore. I have them all digital, but I have books. I do buy books. So if you go into a store or you go into Amazon and you say, if you're looking at an ad and it's like, here's indie and here's Call of Duty and here's Stalker, and here's Avowed. Let's assume some of those are well reviewed, and then you're really into Flight Sim and you're really into MLB. Okay, so that's what I said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 70 is $420. So you could totally do an ad like they did Atari and television back in the day and say you could pay. You can get these games. They're all great. You can play them on Xbox. You can play them on PlayStation. If you play them on PlayStation, it's going to cost you $420. Is that right? 7 times 6, $420. Or it'll cost you $19 and you can play it on Game Pass, which if you have an Xbox, great. If you want to play it on your smart TV, great. If you want to play it on your iPhone or iPad, great, assuming you have decent streaming. But let's just assume we're talking console, Xbox console, PlayStation console. Play it for $19 to have them all, including all these other games. Or buy it all, $420. Come on. I mean, who's not, so again, in some ways, or maybe in a big way, bringing their software to other platforms not only makes them good money, just like Sony's making good money because MLB is now on Xbox. They would prefer it not be, I assume, but they had no choice. They had to, or they would lose the license. In this case, they'll make more money that way, and they'll have a wonderful, club to hit PlayStation with and say, yeah, you can buy them there. You can buy them on Switch possibly, but why would you? Unless you want to own them. But again, that's a very small part of the market. So I'm actually quite interested in how this plays out. Now, they haven't said, though, it's day one on PlayStation. I hope it is. I hope if they put indie on PlayStation, they go day one on PlayStation 5, because I want this contrast. It could be like, yeah, we're going to put them on PlayStation, but, it's going to be a year after. I hope they don't do that, though. I hope they really double down on this Game Pass thing and say, hey, now you have a choice. You want to buy it? Great. Buy it wherever you want it. You can buy it here too if you want. I wouldn't. If indie comes out day one, because I love indie so much, I'll probably buy that on PlayStation because I like their controller more. But I'll probably still play it on Game Pass first to make sure I love it. But anyway, that's my take on it. Again, I do feel for the people that invested in the hardware and they feel like, Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck? But even then, though, if you're really investing in the Xbox because of their first party output, like at the beginning of this generation, and you're like, dude, I made that choice. It's like, based on what? It's not like Xbox has been ruling the roost in first party for a very long time. If one could argue, if ever. But still, you made your choice, and then that sucks that now you're like, oh, I could have been playing these other games too, and these games. But the good news for all of us gamers is all this shit's going away. It's going to be service versus service. It's not going to be console versus console, which is really better for the art form. But that said, that's my take. I think it's very interesting. There's never a dull fucking day. It's Sunday, and we're getting these rumors popping. This is going to be a fun week. Be well, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you tomorrow on a stream. Goodbye.